Sure.
Say hello.
What's up?
Hey, he actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you do. Don't you?
Because
sound decent.
I'm holding it to my ear like a phone.
Oh.
Well, that should. Are you driving?
No, we're switching. We just pulled over to switch.
Nice.
Where are
You
you
know
at
what I
now?
We're just outside Mogador.
That
sounds
sounds like a
awesome.
He-Man villain.
You are totally the biggest mark.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell.
And all these people are a bunch of stinking bums, aren't you?
Reigning United States heavyweight champion Bret Hitman Clark.
All right, so WCW Uncensored happened in 1996. Grant,
The end.
Do you remember where this took place from?
Fuck, I don't.
Well, it's the birthplace of Elvis Presley. Does that help?
I know where he
I hope it
died.
doesn't.
It does not help.
Coming live from the Tupelo Coliseum in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Oh, okay. All right.
WCW Uncensored 1996. Attendance was 9,000. I want to say it had around 210,000 pay-per-view buys. It actually did pretty good numbers for pay-per-view. So starting off, we had 4 dark matches, which you don't get on the network, and I kind of wish we would have because a couple of these might have been decent. At least one of them. Probably 2 of them. First match, Mr. Jail defeated Dean Malenko in the first round of the Cruiserweight tournament for the new Cruiserweight belt. Jim Duggan defeated Big Bubba Rogers because that feud's still going on.
Hold on a second. Are you on a Harley Davidson?
No, someone on a Harley Davidson is on a Harley Davidson.
Oh, okay.
Grant is driving, or well, he's not driving. He is riding in a car. So
Yes.
we are coming live from Ohio.
We got
this
some
week.
road noise in the background. Just
This is seriously the most freaking fly-by-night grabastic podcast in the history of podcasts.
Yeah.
Dirty Dick Slater with Colonel Robert Parker defeated Alex Wright. I'm not in a minute 55. Why do they need to have that match? That's just a time filler. And the Steiner brothers fought the Nasty Boys to a no contest. So, Grant, you'll be upset to hear that the Steiner brothers were a dark match on this card.
I'm okay with them being a dark match, but why the fuck are they not getting put over?
Yeah, I mean, it was a no contest.
Like,
they didn't
the
win
Nasty Boys
again.
is Knobs. He's buddies with Hogan, isn't he?
Yes,
That's
he
okay.
is. That
Never
might
mind.
have something to do with
Yeah,
it.
because I think on the Nitro before that, the last one that we reviewed, the Steiners won, but it was dirty.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
They made the Nasty Boys look good.
Okay, so that's
where,
the Hogan
that's where
influence.
Knobs had his
Yeah.
he had his ribs taped over his shirt.
Sure.
Like I said, because he was ashamed of his body, but he had to sell the angle.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Like going to the hospital, the ER, be like, all right, well, we're gonna have to tape him up. That's all we can do. Go ahead and take off your shirt. No, just do it. Do it
I never
over.
take off the shirt, so it's
Well, yeah,
fine.
but what if
He's
you?
like a never nude.
Yeah, no, they'll be like, well, what if you have to shower? No, I don't do that either.
Nice. All right. Main card time. First
Yes.
match. Singles match for the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. The champion Conan defeats Eddie Guerrero. Your thoughts?
Not mine. Yours, Grant.
Grant.
I know.
he was preparing himself.
I don't know why Conan's the U.S. champion. He doesn't. He might defend it on Saturday night, but he doesn't defend it on Nitro. He's got a gimmick. He's already got appeal. He's the Mexican champion. I can't even say it with a straight face. He's some sort of Mexican champion. He's got his gimmick is that he's from Mexico, which at this point isn't a big deal. He shouldn't have the U.S. belt. I think they should put it on Eddie. Eddie's kind of getting a push. They're promoting him as an up-and-comer. If you're not going to put it on Eddie, put it on someone else that should have the belt.
So, during this match, Shivani, bless his heart, mentions how the United States champion is
Yes.
the number one contender
Yes.
for the world title.
Correct.
Oh,
Which
really?
I like that in kayfabe. However, if they never give them
They
a
never
title
do it.
shot, it's silly.
They only do it when it benefits the storyline. If they decide they want to give Joe Blow a title push or a title shot, but they're not smart enough to write it in, they can't figure out an angle. Oh, just give him the U.S. belt. But yeah, has Conan fought for the world title yet?
Yeah,
because 100
whoever.
Yeah, because 100 other turds have wrestled for the title.
Yeah,
really, the fact that being the U.S. champ would make you the number one contender, as far as just storyline wise, that wouldn't really work. Because you can't really just have somebody automatically go from U.S. champ to having a world title shot, because you gotta have your U.S. champ kind of have a run with the title.
You promise them a title shot, though. You either give them an immediate title shot and they get squashed, and you say, okay, you're clearly not ready. You got to hold on to the belt for a while. Or you say, all right, we're going to give you a title shot, but these 10 other guys are already in line and they get their shot first. And then you can complain, hey, I'm the number one contender. I've defended the U.S. belt. Where's my title shot? Where's my shot? The man's holding me down.
Yeah,
you got your shot. You got your shot, Balboa. Now give me mine.
That's kind of what they did with.
Maybe I fought Apollo. Maybe I won't.
That's kind of what they did with Goldberg, though.
Yes.
When he beat Hogan.
Yeah, he got a quick shot.
That's kind of how they did that.
I think. I think the last note on that, there should be rankings.
Yeah, I'd like that idea. It makes it more like a legitimate sport.
It does.
Okay.
And,
hey,
and then you can have these matches that are basically filler matches. Why is Lex Luger, wrestling Barry Darsow? Oh, because Darso's rated 9 and Luger's rated 5, and they're going to give him a shot to move up the ratings. And
yeah, that gives you a reason to have matches. Zach just found the pay-per-view buy rate for this show is a 0.7 buy rate, which equals out to about 210.
What have we been running usually for the last couple of pay-per-views?
This one's up a little bit. I remember Starrcade 95 did 75,000 buys or something.
I wish we could get the black box numbers. How many people with illegal cable?
How many people didn't pay for it? But watched it.
This match ends on kind of a weird schmoz with an inadvertent low blow by Conan, and he gets the win. Next match is what do we got here? We got the Belfast Bruiser, Fit Finlay, defeats Steven Regal by DQ, and the Blue Bloods interject themselves.
Yeah.
I liked this match.
So did I.
Dave Meltzer gave it 3.25 stars, so that's pretty solid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a good match. I think these 4 guys feuding, working a program with each other, being involved, I think that's a good start to a lot of things you can do. It's almost a shame that WCW doesn't have the European title, because that would be a good match of 4 guys to do that with.
That actually would be, and you have other European guys too. I mean, hell, you got Loch Ness, for God's sakes. Do you think Regal got his nose busted open hard way, or he broke his damn nose in this match somehow? I'm not sure if that was.
Yeah, I think they're playing it up a ton.
Yeah, he was bleeding pretty good by the end of it, but these guys beat the.
It doesn't take much. If he's had it broken before, all it takes is one good shot to really get it going. But no, they sold the hell out of it. We heard about it.
Just looking at some comments on where are we at?
CageMatch.net.
CageMatch.net. The good people at CageMatch.net, they're doing a hell of a job over there. Pretty comprehensive wrestling website. ATP Wrestling writes, an awful show saved by Regal versus Bruiser, Sting and Booker T versus the Road Warriors. Steer clear of everything else. I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Just by looking at the card and not watching it, I'd probably have guessed that.
Yeah. So next up, we have a man versus woman match. Colonel Robert Parker with Dirty Dick Slater defeats Medusa in 3 minutes, 47 seconds. Violence towards women, not really cool to show on TV these days. You can't really do this shit anymore.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm okay with it, but not senseless violence. I'm not saying that there should be a beat your wife segment. What I'm saying is that I'm okay with this mixed match. It's kind of silly. It's kind of out of place. What I'm not fucking okay with, and Medusa, if you see this one, I would be interested to hear the comments on it from the inside. There is no way. okay, fine. You want her to lose the match. Okay, whatever. That's part of the storyline. She should have dominated this thing from bell to bell minus a dirty finish. But she doesn't. She gets her stuff in. And then Robert Parker, for some reason, kind of gets put over. He's made to look good. He gets some power moves in. They make him look better than they should. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, because he's not a wrestler.
Right. All you've done is brought in the best women's wrestler at the time, one of the best ever. All you've done is brought in the best. After the fact, realized that you didn't have anything for her to do. And now instead of making her look good, you're using her in a useless storyline where you make her look weak. You've already got the perception, especially in the South, that women aren't as strong. You know, she should have been put over. If you want her to lose, do a dirty finish, and then that makes it interesting for next time. Well, she kicked his ass, but he cheated to win, so now I've got a reason to tune back in because she's going to get revenge.
Right, and there was kind of a dirty finish with Dick Slater kind of pulled her leg out,
right,
and kind of broke up the pin attempt, but. I mean, she hits a scoop slam on Parker, German suplex. I mean, yeah, she does get her stuff in, like you said, but Parker gets too much offense.
Yeah, he gets way too much
for
offense.
my liking.
Yeah,
and that's a really good point. Is that WCW at this time, aside from like the couple tag matches with the Japanese women,
right?
There's really not a women's division. Who's she gonna wrestle? She's already murdered Sherry Martel.
Right.
I mean, with that German from a few weeks ago.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good point. They really don't have anybody to put her with.
Right. So either, I mean, you either make her a valet that comes in and fucks people up and is also pretty to look at, or you bring in indie promotion women wrestlers, you bring in from Japan, from Mexico, and you build a division around that.
And in the future, they do kind of try to do that. They do bring Bull Nakano back later in the year, so with Sonny Ono and all that. So, kind of a waste.
You would have thought to do that, beforehand.
Exactly.
I don't.
That's not how WCW does business, however.
No, it's really not. I don't know.
So, this next fucking match.
Clay has heavy opinions about this.
I was sitting at my computer watching this, and I was kind of like you from a couple weeks ago. I got angry watching it. The Bootyman with the Booty Babe.
Yes.
This is the first reference to her as the Booty Babe, by the way. I just read that.
She's not going to be the Booty Babe for very long, but the Bootyman defeats Diamond Dallas Page in 16 fucking soul-crushing minutes.
Yes.
Why this match got 16 fucking minutes, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But, okay, here's my thing, and I'm sure you'll agree. Of the 16 minutes, 11 minutes of it was stalling and posturing to the crowd by both guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a hard watch. I recommend, if you're watching Uncensored 96 on the network, I mean, if you're a big Ed Leslie mark, dude, I love Diamond Dallas Page. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. But fuck if I'm ever going to watch that garbage again. Wow.
I kind of want to watch it because you're talking
watch
so
it sometime
horrible about
and
it.
tell me you're not angered by it.
Don't watch it while you're cleaning guns, though, because you kill yourself.
So, Grant, you got anything to add to that? I mean,
holy
shit.
I would like to add, I'm a huge Diamond Dallas Page fan, but Diamond Dallas Page, this guy ain't, because he is, how long's he been wrestling at this point?
Not very long.
Not very goddamn long. He can't carry a match. He's, with DDP, we're talking about a guy that week to week.
Am I doing too loud, Zach? Is that
no,
what
I'm trying to signal to you, put the sausage on the cheese and try it like that.
You said I was doing too loud.
No.
We're talking about a guy that, especially later on, but week to week gets noticeably better. At this point, he's, he gets 20 years better over the course of 5 years. At this point, he's super early, so he can't. I don't know if he can call a match at this point super well, but he definitely can't carry a match by himself. He's not as good as he will be. He is not over with the crowd nearly as much as he will be. And Ed Leslie's been in the game forever, And at no point in that has he ever been able to do any of that stuff. So why the expectation that you can send these guys out to work a 15-minute match, and it's going to be neither one of them at this point have 15 minutes worth of moves. Ed Leslie he's a power, quick match type of wrestler who's not huge and doesn't have an insane body. I mean, he's got a good body, he's got a good look. He's not a Brian Adams or a Brian Clark.
He's one of those guys that just can't get over no matter what.
He's over the most. No, he's over the most as Brutus the Barber. And even with that, a lot of it's gimmick. It's bringing in the hedge clippers. It's hair versus hair matches. It's whatever. I'm okay with the match, and these guys could work a good 6-minute match, a really good 6-minute match, because
this match shouldn't have been over 5 or 6 minutes long.
No, Ed Leslie's got maybe 5 minutes worth of stuff. Paige has got maybe 5 minutes worth of really good stuff. It could have been Paige the Technician versus Ed Leslie versus Bootyman, I guess we'll call him. Fucking bullshit. My girlfriend who's driving is laughing at that, so inappropriately so. Anyhow, he's got some power moves. That's how long it should have been. It should have been Powerhouse Guy versus Technician. End it however the fuck you want. That's the match. Yeah.
Here is the one saving grace to this match, and then Zach, I'll let you give your thoughts. The one thing I did kind of like is that they play up that Diamond Dallas Page is down on his luck. Kimberly, Johnny B. Bad beat him a few weeks ago. He lost all of Kimberly's money. He's down and out. I liked that he came to the ring in like the shittiest looking ring gear possible to play that up. I did like how they do that. He's not wearing the shit with diamonds all over it. He's wearing what appears to be purple sweatpants with DDP
sewn,
super glued to the side of it. So I did like that. Other than that, this match was shit. Skip it. Zach, your thoughts? I feel like Larry King.
Zach, go. From Tallahassee, go. I just had a question. I'm just kind of reading the synopsis as you guys are talking about it. I can't remember. Has at any point...
Long-time listener, first-time caller? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just curious. Has it ever been brought to light in kayfabe or work or shoot at this point?
He's about to break something big.
That Kimberly and DDP were actually married? Is that something that was known?
That's a hell of a question. I don't know an answer to that.
Because
I think I think that's just storyline.
It might be known by
together.
the Meltzer followers, but
yeah, unless you're reading a dirt sheet, you probably don't have.
I mean, in that day, 96, heck, the internet. It was AOL, and that's about it.
Right. Well, fuck. 3 years later, if it were in, if McMahon were writing it, it would be, they'd fucking post the divorce papers on the fucking website and.
Right. Yeah. Because at the end of the match, apparently, the Booty Man and Booty Babe lock lips.
Yeah,
right in front of DDP.
They have a smooch.
And since I don't like the guy, since I've heard his interviews, it doesn't bother Paige because everyone knows that Ed Leslie's a homosexual. So.
Oh.
Ed Leslie, if you're out there, I'm challenging you to a fight.
Not that there's anything wrong with
being a homosexual.
So, one thing that I forgot about, and I don't know if it's this part in the show, but I think I should mention it. Did you see the giant on his CompuServe chat?
Yes.
That they. So that was the thing.
That's fantastic.
It's just the giant at this laptop just clicking away.
It looks like a prop. It's so tiny against his hands and body, but it's regular. Remember, laptops at the time are fucking huge. So
yeah. Remember that who was that counselor we had at West, Mr. White or
Bob
something
White?
like that? Yeah, remember that laptop he had that was like the size of like 5 bricks?
Yeah, it was
together.
It was an IBM ThinkPad, and to get the floppy and the CD-ROM drive, the add-on, it clicked on. It was like a station that clicked onto the bottom.
Right.
And there was an extended battery. Yeah.
He let us mess with it. It literally took about 15 minutes to start.
Yeah. Last note on the Diamond Dallas Page thing. I believe that Dusty Rhodes took huge interest in Page's career, and I think a detail like "Now you're broke, you're coming out in sweatpants" that screams to me Dusty Rhodes detail.
Dusty probably saw that and think, hey, this guy at least understands.
Yeah, and that sounds like a
the
Dusty,
character.
hey, baby, you're going to come out in sweatpants now because you done spent all the money. You're down on your luck.
Hard times.
So
Hard
next
times,
up, we
baby.
got a singles match between the Giant with Jimmy Hart, defeats Loch Ness in 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Not a whole lot here. The Giant wins with a leg drop, and he says, that one was for you, Hogan. I liked that. That was a nice touch because he's not going to be able to choke slam Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm hoping, and I've seen the Nitros after this and genuinely don't remember. I hope that match is a get the fuck out of here Loch Ness match.
I think he's close to being done.
They haven't been able to use him. He hasn't been in a usable storyline. He was going to feud with Hogan, and maybe they realized that match would have been awful. My favorite use of him so far is the Giant jumping him as he walks out to be the already in the ring opponent for the opening of Nitro against Luger. They don't have a place for him. He's well beyond his prime. That's all I have to say about that.
So they're in between. Before that match started, I'm just reading. This cagematch.net is actually ran by some German people, and their reviews are in German, and I Google translated it, and I'm reading that as my reference here. And between the match, it's just funny how they word it. And this is translated from German. Basically, they're talking about how Jimmy Hart came out.
I just read it.
Jimmy Hart came out with Luger, blah, 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 this and that. And so an agreement was reached that Jimmy Hart would be the Giants' manager or Luger's manager, something, I don't know. But anyways, this sentence is just funny. It says, however, it has reached the agreement in return that Jimmy Hart will today manage the last time Lex Luger evening. Hart lubricates the total package, then neatly honey to shut up, and gives him finally, even in its own Lex Luger jacket, what these deeply stirred. That's the synopsis of the interview.
That is like English translated to German, translated back into English.
We need someone to read that with the voice of foreign exchange student Uter.
Yeah.
It's like punctuation and the position of verbs and nouns is totally different in German.
Yeah.
So it's translated to English, but they didn't rearrange it.
They don't reorder it.
Yeah.
Holy cow. The Giant beats Loch Ness. Not a whole lot going on here. Next we have what I would probably say is the match of the night. Either this or the Regal Finlay match. Definitely match of the night. Booker T and Sting defeat the Road Warriors in a Chicago street fight in 29-33. These guys go for a half hour without a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
I mean, they go. It's
with the tag team match, you get a little a little break in there.
It wasn't a tag though. It was all four guys going at once.
Oh,
because
okay.
Of Chicago street fight.
This is definitely the best use we've seen so far of the street fight type of format for a match.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of each other too.
Yeah, no, it's entertaining the whole time. It's a non-technical match for a good chunk of it without just resulting to everyone throwing big right hands.
Yeah, and this is where the Road Warriors really shine at is shit like this because they're real physical. They're not super technical, but in this type of venue, they look pretty awesome.
And I think we get a pretty good look into how well Booker T is going to be later on.
Right.
On singles.
Couple notes here. I mean, the match ends, I believe, Booker T and Animal brawl to the back.
Yes.
And they bump into
the end
Luger.
Is great. The end is this is fantastic.
I'm reading that right there.
I love this ending. God damn it. What they're doing with Luger is fantastic.
So Luger's in the back flexing or oiling up.
He's oiling himself. And they mentioned that 100 times. Lex Luger was just sitting there oiling himself up.
As the Germans would say, lubricating himself.
Yeah, lubricating.
Lex Luger is lubricating himself.
Animal and Booker T are brawling, and they run into Luger, and they mess his hair up, or they knock the catering table into him, and he's got frickin', I don't know, shit smeared all over him.
He becomes over lubricated,
and he loses it. And because Animal was the one that ran into him, he starts beating up Animal.
Yeah.
And then Stevie Ray comes in and hits Animal with a chair. They beat his ass. Well, they beat Animal down and then handcuff him to a post. And then Booker T goes back to the ring where Hawk is beating up Sting. And they work over Hawk. Hawk gets the upper hand. Stevie Ray comes out and absolutely clatters him with a chair.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Like incredibly stiff chair shot to the back of the head.
Yeah.
And that's how the match ends. Booker T gets the pin
Yep.
over Hawk in 29 minutes, 33 seconds. Check this match out.
It's a good match.
It's
Great finish.
worth watch.
And
Creative finish.
This will be my last German translation. I just got to throw this one out too because this is funny. Talking about Luger being in the back and all that stuff. So, anyways, it says, and try to follow along here. It makes no sense.
Fuck?
This is how the Germans put that little backstage thing of Luger. The admiring herself in the mirror just as he is suddenly accidentally hit by a blow, animals, and flying against a garbage can. Luger is sour and complains that now his hair was ruined.
Wow.
Oh, that's so funny.
That is awesome.
That's great.
No, I'm
no,
going to read every wrestling review from this guy now in
Like, that's
translated
pretty
German.
we need to do a book of quotes. No, I do like the match, and I think if, obviously we know what the program he ends up on. If there was a desire to do tag team with Sting, I think him and Booker T would have been a great match. That's similar styles. They're both big athletic guys that can really move, agile, explosive, can work long matches. I'm a big fan of them as a team.
So here we have next on to the main event,
Yeah.
the Doomsday Cage match.
Do we have to?
We got to. This is some historic shit in a bad way.
Sorry, as the Germans would say, this more than embarrassing match
So
takes place in a cage,
the
which consists of several floors.
Jesus Christ. We're gonna piss off our German audience.
Okay.
So the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, defeat the Alliance to End Hulkamania, which includes
That's the name of my super
following
PAC.
8 people: Arn Anderson, Kevin Sullivan, Lex Luger, Ming. Yeah, scroll that over. Ric Flair, the Barbarian, the Ultimate Solution.
Oh, keep going. I got something to say.
And Z Gangsta, which I like to think is pronounced Z Gangsta, like he's French or something.
Z Gangsta.
That makes him more appealing to me.
Okay, I just got to say this before I forget. I looked up this Ultimate Solution guy. Guess who
Yes.
he is?
No, I have no idea.
Don't say anything, Grant, if you know.
Okay.
Do you have any idea, Clay?
No clue.
He is freaking Bane
Yeah.
from
he's Bane.
Batman or The Dark Knight Rises.
No,
He's Bane.
He's not the one from The Dark Knight Rises.
No.
He's
He's the
Bane
one from the
Batman
Schwarzenegger
and
one.
Robin, the shitty
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one. Okay.
Yeah,
that one.
dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, he's Bane.
Tom Hardy
the
is
second
Bane
part.
in the freaking new one.
Well, I just looked him up. I looked up the Ultimate Solution. He is Bane from the Batman movie. And I'm like, oh my god, that's the same guy.
Yeah, no.
But apparently...
Batman and Robin, the one where Schwarzenegger's like, cool off.
Oh, okay.
The bad
I
Joel
actually
Schumacher.
never watched that one. But...
Oh, you
Okay.
have to watch that.
Okay, that makes sense though.
I got excited though. I thought he was that big.
Is
I'm like,
Zach now Zach, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Next time you get some downtime, look him up. He died several years ago. Look him up.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Look
Yeah.
look his daughter up.
Okay.
You got a hot daughter or something?
She's interesting.
Dude, that guy's freaking huge.
Yeah.
He died at.
Died in 1997 at the age of 40. Wow.
I think she's got a Facebook page.
His name is Jeep.
Jeep Swenson. That's an awesome freaking name.
Isn't it?
Okay.
How-
All right. So,
Anyhow.
back to we got to talk about this fucking match.
Yeah, so
Um,
my first complaint, first of many. So they start in the top of the cage, and I mentioned this on the Nitro. Clay, I don't know if you've ever seen it, and I, of course, didn't look it up because I'm ill-prepared for everything. The triple-decker cage, I believe we first saw at a Starrcade.
I believe so, like back in the 80s.
Yeah, and like 88 or something. I think it's I don't know. Anyhow, so in this one, they start at the top, and they work their way down. Complaint number one, imagine, if you will, and we know the name of everyone in this match, and we know where they are in the pecking order of professional wrestling. Imagine one day you sit down, new Mario Brothers came out, and you put it in, and you fire it up, and up level 1-1, and you move 2 screens over, and there's fucking Bowser at the beginning of the game. And then as you play through and you get to the end, the last guy's just a Goomba. This is what the fuck they do in this. Because it's Ric Flair and Arn Anderson in the top of the cage. They wrestle them first.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
That is the opposite of how you build something up. So if they can beat Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, what do I reckon their chances are against the Gangster and the Ultimate Solution? Like it's pretty fucking predictable if they can get by a 13-time world champion, current world champion. We just went by Ohio Station. Sorry, there's a supplement store with a giant blow up out front. It looks to be about 2 stories tall, and it is the most roided out thing I've ever seen in my life.
What is Ohio Station?
I think that's the name of the town.
The town of Ohio.
Okay.
It's our listeners out at Ohio Station.
Yeah, that guy we need to test him. It's between Burbank and Lodi, Ohio.
Like Lodi?
Yeah, like Lodi, only I don't think they say it that way.
Grant, you are trying like hell to get out of talking about this match. So
it's terrible.
So I agree. They start out with Flair and Double A in the top of the cage. Double A, because this is like a no-holds-barred street fight, isn't in wrestling gear. He's like in a sweatsuit, which makes sense because you're not going to get cut up by the cyclone fence near his...
He should have come out in a full fucking suit of armor.
And a sword.
Yeah, be like that. Sorry, what are you gonna do? No rules, motherfucker.
So they climb down out of the first section.
Hold on,
after they...
but one more complaint before we get to that. It's very annoying to me that this cage has no solid floor.
Oh, they can't move at all.
It's just fucking chain link, and every time they step, it flexes a shitload.
Yeah, that makes things difficult.
And they clearly spent no time in this cage beforehand. Like, as soon as they get in, their feet are touching that fucker for the first time, and they're just making it up because they have no idea what it was going to be like.
You can actually see when they first get in, like, you see Flair and Arn kind of, like, testing it out, and then they go over and kind of talk to each other. They're probably like, this thing's fucked.
Like, we're going to fucking die. Anyhow, go ahead.
So they get past Double A and Nature Boy, and then they go down to the second tier of the cage, which included Ming, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, and Kevin Sullivan. And they do their thing there.
So why don't Flair and Arn Anderson just get back in?
Well, they locked him in or something. I mean, they do end up climbing down there eventually. Right. God, this whole match is like a freaking fever dream. Like it gets so weird. At one point, Hogan and Sullivan exit the cage onto the scaffolding.
Yes.
And Hogan tries to murder Kevin Sullivan by throwing him off the scaffold.
Oh, that's a serious shit. That's a serious shit moment.
Yeah. Because he's a babyface, murder and all.
This may be one of Hogan's last babyface appearances, actually.
It's winding down.
Why? And this is, I understand storylines and such. Why, when they're like, yeah, there's going to be a cage match? No one has ever been like, hey, cage match. I remember cages. Someone should bring bolt cutters.
Right.
Yeah.
So
anyhow,
they climb down the scaffold and. They end up in the ring, the other ring that all the other matches.
Yeah, because the cage is not around. I guess if anyone hasn't seen this yet or isn't going to watch it, because we trashed the whole thing, rightfully so. The cage is not around the ring. The cage is separate from the ring.
On the floor, is there nothing below it?
There's a ring at the bottom level. There's a ring, but the second and the third level are just chain link.
Mm-hmm. Right, and it's separate from the ring that all the other matches have been in. Right.
Yes, it's a totally different ring.
It's like it's off more by the entrance. It's like by the entranceway.
So they go brawl in the other ring for a while, and then they end up back in the cage. While they're brawling in the original ring, the Ultimate Solution and Zagangsta come out and do a couple choke spots. I mean, these guys really aren't the best workers. First of all, Z-Gangsta, Zeus, whatever you want to call him, is an actor. He is not a professional wrestler in any way, shape, or form. He's Tiny Lister, he's Debo from Friday, and that's where it should stop. But, you know, Hogan has to bring him back.
There was a shortage of professional wrestlers. They couldn't find a real one because I guess they were all working and making too much money somewhere else. So they had to go with him.
My question is, where's goddamn Shark or Avalanche?
Yeah.
Throw him in there.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
He
agree.
can fucking at least do something. I don't know.
I wish, and I know they tried to make it happen lots of times, and I know, but shit like this, the Alliance to end Hulkamania, and I know it wouldn't have gone this way, but that would have been a perfect time to, at the end of this match, be like, yep, and the Ultimate Warrior, Gorilla Press Slam, Big Slam, or the fuck was his finisher? Big Splash. It's over. Hulkamania ends.
Here, the other thing, you know what this is like? It's like the Adam West Batman movie where all the villains unite.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like
so
that.
I don't know if I made that reference on the last podcast, but I know I made that reference to my girlfriend talking about it, is that this is exactly what it is. And for some reason, somehow, on their own, they all come really close to getting the job done, and then when they all get together, they still don't pull it off.
They fail miserably.
Yeah.
So they all get in the bottom in the ring in the bottom cage. Okay. So it's Hogan, Savage. Of course, Savage is getting his ass beat this whole time, taking all the bumps.
The only one he can beat up is Z-Gangsta.
Yeah,
Z-Gangsta.
Hogan is
It's like the candle from Beauty and the Beast.
So Hogan's just Hoganing the whole time is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
So you have Hogan and Savage against 8 goddamn people in the bottom of this cage. And they're getting worked over. Like, it's not going well for them. But then, who comes to save the day?
Oh, God damn it.
The Bootyman comes out with...
Booty.
What foreign object does he interject into the match?
Oh, goodness.
Can I tell you what the Germans say?
Yes, let's hear it from the German. At this point...
Well, not that. We aren't there yet.
Okay.
To that part. Hold on.
I'm trying to remember.
So, Bootyman comes out with what appears to be the flimsiest frying pans in the history. It's like tinfoil on a stick.
Yeah, it's like it's the Jiffy Pop pan.
Yeah, it's like that's a very good analogy. It's like a Jiffy Pop pan. He comes out, they hit somebody with these things one time, and they like fold in half. But the Bootyman brings out these frying pans, and the baby faces get the upper hand, but it doesn't quite last. The heels overcome him again, and then the match ends with Flair holding, I can't remember if it's Savage or he's holding Savage, and Luger has this like loaded glove, like with ball bearings in it or something, and he puts it on, and he misses Savage, and then he stands there for a second, and he rechambers his punch, and then hits Flair. So I wonder if they're teasing a Luger face turn here.
Yeah.
Because it's way too obvious. Like, he didn't fuck it up that bad. There's something going on there.
Right.
So he misses Savage, hits Flair with the loaded glove. Savage and Hogan go to leave the cage because they think that's how you win. And they're standing at the door looking at each other. And then all of a sudden, Savage dives back in the ring and pins Flair 1, 2, 3. And all the heels just stand there and watch, and they win, and they run out.
Yes.
Like, they forgot the rules of the goddamn match, and I think Savage is like, fuck it, I better do something, so he just dives on Flair and wins. You know who the star of this match is? Randy Anderson.
Oh,
because he's in all 3 cages. He's climbing down. He's
true.
having to dodge 10 fucking people whole time. Randy Anderson, props to you. You were given a turd and you did your best with it.
No,
so
I once the frying pans came out, I started folding laundry. Now I'm okay with frying pans if Ed Leslie is the chef. if he's the sous chef or the line cook, if that's his gimmick. But he's the booty man. So anything short of a bag full of anal beads is a complete bastardization of the gimmick.
Oh.
So that's it. That's
I apologize. I cannot let this go. More
God.
German stuff.
That's a good way to close it.
This will be it. Okay, so any final remarks from either of you? I'm ending with this last paragraph.
This pay-per-view was pretty shitty. Don't waste your time.
I do have a last comment. One of the things that I like to rag on, especially at this point, it was one of the things that made it almost unwatchable were the shitty fucking graphics, the terrible cutout newspaper fucking ransom note entry graphics, the logo. It's a multi-million-dollar company. Buy fucking Microsoft Paint to do your graphics.
Like they're using Hyper Studio to make their goddamn
it was.
graphics.
And the name for everyone on the entrance, everything. It was I fuck you not, newspaper letter cutout fucking ransom note, and it was terrible.
They probably thought that was amazing when they did that. Like, oh, this is so awesome.
Oh, they were jerking each other off so hard, fucking congratulating themselves over that, as usual.
So to end this special report on Uncensored 96, Zach is gonna send us off with some German in reference to the finish of the main event.
This uses the numerical superiority and keeps Savage laid to allow Luger a blow, which has now slipped over a metal glove, now obsolete. But what's this? He misses Savage and accidentally hits Flair down. Savage pinning Flair, while the other heels standing around apathetically and watch. Winner, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. This strange scenes one again humiliated Ric Flair, and whether Luger now heel or face is going uncensored from the transmitter.
So we're right back where we started.
Oh, God damn it.
We don't know where Luger stands.
It's like the episode of C-Lab 2020. We are going right back to Nitro episode 1.
We're in a fucking time loop.
From Zach, Clay, and Grant.
One thing, sorry.
We're not done.
Big thanks to CageMatch.net, you beautiful German bastard. You're amazing. Thank you. You've entertained us. We'll probably steal your freaking reviews again because we're just gonna run them through Google Translate and hilarity will ensue. So good job, guys. So that's all for us.
See ya.